Why you shouldn't be a stepfather?
I'm sending your mom this video. I'm gonna show her. She gonna see exactly how you acting. And you gonna get in trouble. All right. You want me to send it to your mama?
No.
I'm sending it to your mom.
No.
Yep. I'm gonna send it to your mom. All right.
Now, don't get me wrong. That's still on the table for me, but not every man is built to handle a single woman with children. So the reason why you shouldn't be a stepfather, first off, is because you're going to be dealing with a lot of headaches. Now, if that kid's father is in his life or her life and he's a negative person, you're going to have to deal with that headache. You might be dealing with drama between the mom and the father messing around, or you might be dealing with the way they raise that child, and you might not be able to have enough influence in that kid's life if everything is chaotic. And if things like that is chaotic, you need to be able to bounce immediately and avoid the situation. But we're not going to really cover the father. So now if you're dealing with this woman, you need to be able to pour into this woman, teach her, show her how a man is supposed to lead. But sometimes it's hard to deal with a woman who's been single, independent on her own, and she doesn't really know how to be submissive, or she doesn't really know how to let a man lead because she's been stuck in this dominant role, this masculine role. And some males doesn't know how to really get that woman to bring it down. Now, some women can bring it down, and some males don't want to have to fight a woman to bring that energy down, which you shouldn't have to. But if that's her situation, that's her situation. So if you're not built for it, you shouldn't deal with it. But I want to say, when you're pouring into a woman and you're giving her some game and she does fight you back, it causes a lot of problem. But the one thing I've noticed in those situations, because I had over 10 years of having this information from firsthand, from talking to people, I've really been out in the city. But if you start pouring into this woman and she starts changing for the better, you're teaching her how to be more like a woman, teaching her how to be like a wife, or maybe she's a girlfriend, but you're teaching her the ability or the skill set she needs to become a wife. You're teaching her how to avoid certain negative, toxic situations. Maybe once before you met her, she used to hang out with girls that gossip a lot, used to go out in the club a lot, really didn't take care of the kids, just had a lot of bad habits. You might start pulling her away from that environment. Now she's going to look at you like you're controlling, you're trying to isolate her, which that does happen, where some guys do isolate women, and they do isolate them for the worse. But if you're a good man, you should isolate her for the better, just so she can see her environment. Because if her life is already chaotic or messed up, or she's not where she's supposed to be, then you got to be able to get her in a situation she can see the wrongs in her life. But when you do that, sometimes they'll start saying you're controlling. Now, if you're giving her the D, giving her everything she wants, you're giving her that good energy, you're taking care of a lot of things in life, she'll listen to you. But once you pull back the D, once y'all start arguing, she's not changing to your standards or to your liking, or where you know she should be, she's kind of slowing your growth down as well as her own, she might start to resent you if you start pulling back the D, giving her attention all that time. But if she's pouring into negative people that she's talked to you about, like, hey, they're bad people, they do this and they do this, they do that, and she's still going around those type of people, it causes problem. It makes it harder for a man who wants to be in a relationship with you, because one, you're a woman with a child, and now you're showing your kid these bad influences, and these bad influences are probably embedded in your child so deeply to where, as a man, you're going to be dealing with this woman negative energy and some of her bad habits, and this child negative energy and bad habits. But the cool thing about children, which I love, no matter what, any child, sorry for telling you, any child that I poured into, I don't look at it as a loss. Why? Because I poured into that kid, and I'm hoping that as they get older, if things in their life goes wrong, they can remember some of the things I taught them. I taught kids how to rap, how to work out, how to eat better, taught them more about life, their history, and I was teaching them how to respect themselves. If some of those kids could have been gang members, I was like, hey, pull up your pants, start coloring, teaching them to be gentlemen. Girls, hey, put shorts under your skirts, don't have on certain clothes, make sure you close your legs, make sure you do certain things, learn how to cook, and their children grow. The only thing negative about it is if you leave that woman, you're not with that woman, she gets with a guy who's not good for her, and that girl is sitting on guy's lap, it does feel like a slap in the face, because now this girl is getting put in toxic situations that you can't really influence anymore. Or if that boy is now around gang members and you see him sagging, throwing up Crip signs or blood signs, it might hurt, because now that kid is getting lost. But I'm praying and hoping that they'll get found, they'll find their way back to the light. So fellas, don't think of that as a negative if you're able to deal with it. I'm just giving y'all game on if you are a person who is a father, or if you don't want to be, or you're considering it, I'm just trying to tell you the ins and outs. So that's some of the things you deal with. But the cool thing about it, when you pour into kids and kids change, their elders, their aunties, the grandmas, the people in the community, if you do a good job to that kid will start to change. And then now people in her family will actually look at you in a better light. Because sometimes if you're a new man and she has a child or children, the family members will come at you aggressive. They'll attack you. They might accuse you of touching the kid, maybe being abusive. They'll watch everything you do. They'll give you a lot of headaches. But if you're really pouring into that child and that woman and they see the change in them, they'll start to become your best friends. They'll come over like, hey, this is my son-in-law, bro. This is like my brother. Man, he's like my uncle. Whoever they are, they will start to love you. But once again, if you stop giving her that attention, that D, and then people in her family turns on her too much, like, dang, this is the best thing in your life, and she doesn't like to listen to you, it's going to cause even more headache, where that girl's going to resent you. And if you're not giving her the D and all that time, she's going to pull back more. And anything you say is not true, wasn't right. She's going to start fighting with you, and it's going to be headaches. So these are some of the reasons why males don't want to be fathers to someone else's kid. They don't want to be a stepfather. But I still do believe that if you are a man who built differently, you can handle this. It is a lot of work, but you got to make sure you be able to communicate to the woman. So I just want to say, that's probably why you shouldn't be a stepfather. If you're not able to pour into a woman, deal with the family maybe coming at you, being accused of things, her start to resent you. Maybe some of her friends is like, hey, she don't come out anymore. You controlling her. You might have to deal with that. Maybe the kid pushes back on some of the teachings. Maybe the father of the kid, he starts fighting against you. He doesn't like the teaching. He started accusing you. That is a lot of problems a male has to deal with. So not everybody wants to take on the fatherhood role of someone else's kid, because the rewards can be low, but it can be high. But the risk is always high, no matter what. No matter what the situation, the risk is always high, because you can just lose out. But I believe if you're a good man, you should always pour into any situation you get into for the better. Even if it don't work out, you should make that woman and that children better for the next person. That's how I feel, because even in those moments, I actually gained. I've actually gotten better to where I've been able to do better things with my own kids, or even any future kids I might have, any women I'm dealing with, or any future women I'm dealing with. I'm just speaking in a way to y'all get the understanding of it, that it could be some positives. And I feel like the better I affect the women that I've dealt with in the past and their children are better, that means it makes the environment better. That's less criminals, less sexual harassment, rape situations. Now this woman knows how to be more feminine. She knows how to be a girlfriend. She knows how to maybe potentially be a wife, understand males better. So stop getting with people just to destroy them. So if you're not ready to be a stepfather, don't ever step up to the plate. But if you are, understand it's going to be a challenge. But women, y'all can't be having this man fight y'all all the time. You got to have this man back. Y'all got to be able to sit down and communicate. But I will break this down more. I'm actually rushing because I got a bunch of stuff to do. I wish I would have did this a little bit more clear, but I'll be breaking down more information. I'll be giving y'all some motivation stuff, because I want to let y'all know I have been out here in the streets in the community for over a decade, collecting information firsthand. My information isn't from YouTube. So I want to let you know y'all can be stepfathers, and there's a lot of rewards in it. I love pouring into kids. I love teaching kids all the skills that I have, no matter what, if I never see them again. So this is Workplace Gains. I'm out. Let's get it. Bow.